All right, so we started thinking about McDonald's, unfortunately.
Exciting.
Started thinking about everything that's common to all the McDonald's, and it was revealed pretty quickly to us that, you know, McDonald's is really it's just a system to get you, you know, to one, think about McDonald's as much as you can, two, to make you want to buy the food. I mean, it's kind of stating the obvious, but there's some things I hadn't thought about in ways that they want to get you through there as fast as they can and get you out as fast as they can. You know, it's not just about getting you in, but about getting you out also, and people had some great input there, I thought. So I guess we started thinking of, not initially, we kind of brainstormed first, you know, what are the things they do to communicate, interact, you know, what are the kind of products they have, how do they try to build relationships in the community. And then we got down into building our maps and everything. So maybe quickly to kind of do the walkthrough and just integrate this all into it. We're like, you know, one of the things that we typically thought we saw first was the McDonald's sign, but not just like the little sign you see outside, but how prominently they'll put that in the landscape, because a lot of the time, before you get anywhere near a McDonald's, you're going to see this 50-foot tall pole with this huge McDonald's sign on top of it, and that's so they can get you from a long distance away, right? So you see the McDonald's, and maybe you see a lot of little restaurants, but you just, okay, I know McDonald's is ahead, I can keep going. Or you see a billboard on the highway, it says, hey, next McDonald's is like 20 miles away. So you're not tempted to stop for something else to kind of like suck you in. Although we know we would not.
Constant reminder that it's always there.
It's always there, right? So then when you get in closer, you're going to get a smaller sign. You're always going to have that little enter here as well. They always have like you come in here and get out here kind of thing. So they make it very clear to you where you're coming in and out. Typically with the Lumen Illuminated side. And of course, this is all branded. And you're going to pull in and you can either park or you can go through the drive-thru. In fact, I don't know if I've seen a McDonald's in forever that doesn't have a drive-thru. I guess they all have it now. But assuming that you go through the drive-thru, you're going to come up, and the next thing you're going to hit is a pre-menu. So they have a menu even before they have a menu, right? Because they want you to get ready so that you're not sitting here at the menu saying, oh, wait, and you're holding up the line. It's all about them like processing you through as fast as they can. So you get the pre-menu, and you come up and you get the menu, and we find that they typically have these little islands and curves like around the edge so that people can't cut in line. It's not really necessary to keep you, or it's not like people don't understand to turn the corner, but they don't want somebody coming in from another entrance into the parking lot and like cutting in front of you. So they have these little, you know, artificial islands. Then you come around, and in addition to having like a pre-menu menu, you have a pre-window and a window to pick your food up too. So I'm going to stop you here to make you pay. Gives them a little bit of time to put your food together. Then you're going to pick up your window and you're going to roll on out. And of course, this is marked the whole way through with arrows and stuff and lined and painted marking on the street. Alternatively, you can pull in and park, and then you can obviously do the walk-in experience. Anything else on that? We thought it was kind of unusual that nobody could remember a McDonald's where there was a door on the front. That typically this is just a big window so that you can see inside, you can see the seating area, but they don't want people walking in at the front. And I don't know if that's strategic or.
Well, we were talking some like the ones that don't have the play places. It's still on the side, but the ones that have the play places, they always put that play place right at the front, right at the street. So you're driving by, you have your kids, you know, you can keep them busy for, you know, the 20 minutes while you're trying to enjoy your greasy cheeseburger. So
right.
That was kind of one of the things that we were thinking, the reasons why they did that is because majority of the ones that have the play places, it's right here, right by the street, right in front of the store. It's like one of their big hallmarks almost in a way.
And if there's another place next door that doesn't have that, well then it benefits them to put it up front, because you're getting ready to pull into one of the two, and your little kid says, play plays! Yep. Your decision's just been made for you, and it doesn't really matter what you want anymore. You're going in there and you're putting that kid in the balls, or you're going to listen to it. It just sounded so... But otherwise, you know, you're going to come in through a branded entrance. Typically, you're going to go up, you're going to pull the door. You're going to see McDonald's again right there on the door. And you're walking in, there's going to be a seating area, but it's really kind of, they're all designed to funnel you toward the point of sale. You know, and sometimes they have the turnstiles, but I think we're all saying that we didn't see a whole lot of that anymore.
They do that anymore.
And, you know, bathrooms off in the back where you probably expect to, you know, to be not as much near the seating area and the point of sale and the place where they're doing the food prep, although in reality, there's just as well right in between the two, right? But you're going to come in, you're going to walk up, and here's kind of like a quick sketch of the point of sale area. We get a lot of branding there as well, but it's really processed to get you in this one side, get you out the other side, get you to the seat, and get you back out the store as fast as you can. Branding heavily on the point of sale. Of course, you have little ads and stuff on the countertops But also, you know, you're presented immediately with people in a McDonald's uniform, typically with some kind of McDonald's hat on, and you're always going to get that pitch like, "Welcome McDonald's, how can I help you?" And that's standardized. So even that expectation, you know, even that's branded. Just the greeting is branded in a way. The signage as well. The menus are very oriented toward getting you to buy a certain thing. Recalling that it can be really hard actually to find a single item on a McDonald's menu. If you come in and you're like, "I want a hamburger," you kind of have to look and go, "Oh, there's the hamburger by itself." But the first things you see is the value meals, because that's their way to get you to get a hamburger, a French fry, and a soda, and get the hell out. Right? And they process you out the other side, you get your own drink, come back around, you have a condiment station, and boom, that puts you right into the seating area. So you kind of come in like this and come back around the back. I can't remember who said it, but Jared had pointed out that the seats are actually specifically designed to be kind of uncomfortable, so that you don't want to sit there all day long. I don't know who would want to do that anyway, but I guess, you know.
Seniors.
What's that?
Seniors.
True, right? Yeah, there you go. So nobody wants to sit here all day long. And then code over all this is the color scheme, and they're really smart with their color research. You know, the gold and the brown, well, the yellow, I guess I should say yellow and brown and red and white are these colors that are psychologically proven to evoke hunger. I think it's something to do with yellow reminding you primitively of fat, and I don't know, brown of the meat or something. And
I
don't
think
know
of
how that
like
works.
fire in general, and like the idea of
Yeah.
cavemen, like sitting around grilling meat,
There you
you
go.
know, over an open flame. That's kind of what it makes me think of, like fire and like the way we used to cook food, and you know, that's kind of what those colors I get from those colors.
Right.
And then too, like as far as interactions, like once you get your food, just like little things we didn't talk about is like, you know, if you sit down in your restaurant, like they still give you like a bag with like everything individually wrapped inside the bag. So you have to sit there, open the bag, take out your burger, unwrap the burger, and then they do also like an interaction that goes along with that is like when they do the promotional thing. So you have like your little McDonald's game pieces on those wrappers that you can pull off and win another hamburger or pre-order French fries or a trip to Disneyland or whatever. So, you know, so they do like a lot of promotional like devices to get you in and keep you coming back, but they make it feel like it's a game, you know, like something that it keeps drawing people in because you've collected so many of these.
Right.
You know,
It extends their product beyond just the food, which is kind of the obvious thing. So they have you doing things outside of when you're sitting, you know, maybe you go through it, maybe you don't, but you know, you got the commercials and everything all the time, but yeah, they got the Monopoly game.
well, like the cross like platform advertising where they're partnering up with like the movies or the new things that are coming out like Hot Wheels and Mattel, like they have partnerships.
Didn't they have like a special McNuggets for the Olympics or something?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
you know, they do all sorts of stuff like that. So
Special food in the Olympics.
What, do they
And-
look different, or what do you mean?
They had a special sauce or something, and it was like the same sauce that they have in the Olympic Village.
Okay.
Because all the international athletes are eating
Growth
nuggets.
hormones.
That's
great.
That's
Yeah.
what I need.
And then I don't know, I guess we can all kind of talk about all these things that they do to build relationship, to make you that forever customer. And a lot of that crosses over into interaction and product and communication. So of course, you know, you're inundated constantly with advertising by them through all sources of media. In terms of interactions, you know, we kind of put like the Happy Meal in a lot of these different categories because they get you to begin with, they get you when you're young. So you know, you're eating Happy Meals before you're almost like, I don't know, geez, it's kind of depressing when I think about it. But they get you young, and you know, some people, they still do that, and you got the toys, so there's a product there as well. I mean, it's not even the food, but they make sure they address that to get the youth market. And they have these partnerships with like Redbox, and now it's a place you can go and get a movie. It's really bizarre.
they really changed the dynamic of dinner in a movie. I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
You
And
can-
regional food, where depending on where you're at, like we're saying in Maine, you know, you can get a lobster roll at a McDonald's in Maine. Seasonal food, like the McRib, which they bring back every year. Apparently some people love it. But then there's some really great actually relationship stuff, like the Ronald McDonald House. It's you know, you're going to have this negative image around making food that makes people unhealthy, but now you're doing something that's helping, you know, I don't know, what is that for exactly? It's for sick children, basically,
Children.
right?
Sick
I mean,
children.
who can not like that? There's the rural development aspect of McDonald's when they move into a really undeveloped area. That's a great place for people to get jobs. So those people fall in love with McDonald's right away, and they have it's a family tie now, because otherwise they might not. They've been working at the mom and pop, you know, the A&P or something. Like, you know, Jared talked about McDonald's University, right? Like an education program. The fact that they're always hiring, that they'll hire disabled persons. I don't know. Just go on and on. Please, stop me.
You know, and there's some products that you wouldn't necessarily, it's not a big standout product, it's not something they promote, but as someone who's drove back and across the country a couple times in my life, one thing I noticed and I really like about McDonald's is most of the time they always have really clean bathrooms. So if you're driving through the middle of Nebraska and you have a choice between, you know, your dumpy gas station and a McDonald's, I will go to McDonald's just to use the clean restroom. So it's just something like not really important like to most people, but it's always there, and that's a like, you know, that like they're taking like pretty good care of that stuff, and that's something that when I think about McDonald's, I'm like, oh, there's a clean restroom I can use when I'm driving across country.
Yeah.
So just like
Same thing goes with the food too.
yeah, it's always
Yeah,
it's like
you know,
consistent.
It's always the same, right? You know what you're going to get when you come in, whether you like it or not. It's at least it's a proven quantity, and you're not going to guess about what's going to happen when you get in there. And maybe that's disappointing, and maybe it's not, but at least you know. So I guess there's something to that. It works for them. What else can we say about it?
You didn't talk about Redbox.
Oh, well, Redbox. So
We know Redbox, but I mean, I think that's huge.
yeah,
Guess what? Everybody else is having like Redbox.
Yeah.
They started.
right. Well, they were doing it.
They
They
probably-
were doing something like that before Redbox had even started too. That
Right.
It was specifically a McDonald's branded thing.
Right.
And they had a very small selection of movies, but you could get a movie there. And,
Right.
and or they would sell them really cheaply too. I think they would sell like, you know, third window movies for like $1 or something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know what they do anymore now, but
Yeah,
Redbox
must
kind
have
of
been
like.
like a really short window before Redbox took off. 'Cause
But then Redbox came in, so they, you know, wisely I think they didn't see any point in continuing to spend their resources on trying to make their thing work. Why not when you can absorb Redbox and they can have a partnership like that? And of course, you know, with a company that's, you know, truly global and has just like practically infinite resources compared to what they have to have, why not do a partnership like that?
And it really fits in with McDonald's like MO because they're all about convenience. They're all about, okay, here's where you can get a decent meal, right, for you and your family. Why do you have to go to Blockbuster? You know, like you don't have to get everyone out of the car twice. Like,
Right.
come to McDonald's, you can get movie and your dinner at the same time. And like I said, like almost as a joke, but you know, they kind of did like reshape like the dinner and a movie kind of idea, or they simplified it. You know, they made it a little bit more efficient.
And make it so you don't have to go anywhere else. Right. You can
So-
feed your kids, you can entertain your kids and yourself. And that's it, you're done for the night.
How about the McCafe?
Oh,
I don't have any experience with that.
I don't either.
That's,
Oh,
well, that's
So what are
like-
they doing wrong?
That's kind of a, well, I think it's their way of trying to kind of compete with Starbucks, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's essentially,
I
do we
just-
have all your coffee-based?
Does anybody have one?
I had one long time ago.
Yeah,
It's
I had
awful.
one.
I always get the flavored ones
McDonald's
anyway.
is really adept at sort of subsuming these niche markets. So it's like, yeah, you could go to Starbucks, or you could come here, get your coffee cheaper along with some breakfast and that sort of thing. And they did the same thing with the McFlurries and DQ Blizzards, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Southern
yeah.
chicken sandwich, you're pulling up Chick-fil-A's market.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they're the kind of company that when they see competition, they figure we
Yeah.
can brand that ourselves,
Yeah.
and
That was
we have a built-in market for everything that we want to do.
That was exactly how they did the commercials for McCafe, was they had the two guys and they're like, oh, we don't have to be pretentious Starbucks guys, we can still
Yeah.
be everyday schmoes at McDonald's and still get coffee.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
And
the
they
big thing
they
about
try to
McCafe.
promote that coffee as being as good as Starbucks. Like it's
Yeah.
you know, like it's a straight across trade, you know.
Well,
Somebody
and what
says
we're
it's getting
noticing
better.
Too, like McCafe helps them. Like, it's helping them like revamp their stores and everything because they're starting to add like TVs and remodel the stores and they have fireplaces and stuff. So like they're trying to get to that customer that likes the fanciness per se, but it's a McDonald's.
Yeah, they're
What-
trying to make it a destination
Yeah.
point, not just a convenience store.
Right.
Well, for them too, you got to figure for this kind of business, they have saturated their market completely already.
Oh, yeah.
There's almost nowhere you can go in the world, but you can't open another McDonald's, right? So this is stuff like that is the only way that they can grow their business.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Coke, you know. I mean, it's there's only so many places you can go sell sugary water, and then you have to come up with another product. You have to give people a reason to. You have to have a new customer. You've already got your core customers already with the hamburger and the fries and the Coke. So the only way they're going to grow that business is if they start doing stuff like McCafe and Redbox and investing in other businesses. You know, they threw a couple $100 million into making Chipotle happen, which we found out last semester. So behind the scenes and things you don't even know.
Who threw that in there?
We had a project with Chipotle last semester.
Yeah.
But
Right. Yeah.
But I guess McDonald's had a small part in their progression.
Wow.
So they back a lot of businesses that don't even have their name on it, but you can be sure that benefits their bottom line.
I think maybe destination, or no, well, destination has to be there.
Yeah.
How about community gatherings?
Yeah, that's kind of like the birthday thing. It's like
Yeah, we had party
building
center up
interest
here.
in-
Yeah, this is also the retired group coming in every morning
Oh,
to,
yeah,
to meet, or maybe it's more than that. You know, I think they're really trying to be that, because I think you guys hit it. Destination is not where they're at yet, but I believe that's where they're trying to go now. All the other stuff you guys have talked about is absolutely, you know. So if, you know, if we had to like put a set of attributes, you know, I put down. And it's funny, clean bathrooms is huge, but that doesn't mean it's a destination point for only one reason. We've wiped everything else out, but you know that they have the clean bathrooms. And then you're walking by and you say, you know, I could get that Big Mac and maybe a small fry. I'm not that hungry, but I'll just buy it anyway. And they, you know, so they like that you're actually going in there just for that. Nobody's looking at you saying, oh, you're not buying anything?
No, I've never had a problem when we walk in,
Yeah.
like, use it.
And
walk
if
out,
that was an issue, that could be bad. Anyway, it's fast, it's consistent food. Fun, I think, is another piece because it's a family-oriented thing. And reliable and convenient. I mean, and it's simple. When you think of all of those things, we could probably narrow those down a little bit. That's a pretty interesting model. But destination is what you're trying to build. To go to a McDonald's to rent a movie never existed. And they hope that you rent the movie and then grab some food on the way. But a lot of people just will grab it. Now what's happening is a lot of these other places are starting to copy it, but it's like big mega, you know, grocery stores.
Well, they just put a red box in at the 7-Eleven by my house.
Right.
Like right here on Cherry. They're
And,
everywhere. Yeah, they're everywhere now.
Nobody trusted it, but then, you know, look at what happened to Blockbuster. Gone.
Yeah. Certain Netflix's business too. In fact, the streaming thing
I
is the
just-
only thing saving.
well,
it.
Actually, I just read
Yeah.
something about Blockbuster, Walmart, Netflix thing going on, and they're saying that Blockbuster has a chance of like writing it out.
Oh, okay.
Because like Walmart and Netflix made a deal. Netflix said we're not going to sell DVDs. Walmart said okay, we're not going to rent DVDs. This was a couple years ago
Wow.
because we each, you know, Walmart's great at selling, Netflix is great at renting. At the same time, Blockbuster kind of held its own ground and was saying like, okay, we can sell and rent, and they do like the video games, and they're offering stuff that neither of them offer, but like you can still actually go to a Blockbuster. They closed a bunch of them, but they're still around, and you can still actually go in and browse. And they were talking about how that might help them like stay afloat, because like people are getting really upset about like they're calling the Netflix Walmart thing a conspiracy, and like they're trying to like
Yeah, but
push
Redbox is in
regulations on
Walmart.
it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, so is McDonald's, so that should be
But
interesting.
Walmart doesn't own the red box, right?
No.
Yeah, so it's not Walmart renting. The same as this isn't McDonald's renting you a movie. They're just giving you the opportunity to rent a movie at their location,
Right.
which is different.
Well, I'm sure they're getting paid to.
Yeah,
They're
which
paying
they
for
make
rent.
money off of it, but they don't own it.
No.
So
No, so it's actually a win-win for everybody,
Yeah.
you know, which is pretty amazing. Now, free Wi-Fi, I actually didn't know that, because I actually don't think I'd want to sit there long.
no.
You said, or somebody said the seats are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Then why would
Hard
they, why would they put free Wi-Fi?
They know
Dad
people
told
have
me
been
last
working on it
semester
or
that he'll
something.
take his kid
Yeah.
and
It's
to
about
play in the
it.
play place, and he'll sit there and like check the internet on the Wi-Fi
Oh, okay.
while his son's playing. Like
Oh, okay.
have it
I think
up,
it's just like
you
a
know.
value add.
Okay.
They're just like, why not have it? Because
Yeah,
it's
well,
not like they're getting like 100 meg connection to the restaurant so that, you know, everybody can have It's like the minimum connection. There could be 50 people sharing it at once.
Depending on your location
crap.
too,
They
like
have
the
it.
McDonald's down on 16th Street Mall, lunchtime on a weekday is probably majority going to be like business people, people at work. You know, they don't have much time, but you know, your business guy that
Still
wants to
wanna
sit
check
down,
in.
he's going to want his Wi-Fi there. You know, so it makes sense.
It's
like,
taking over the Starbucks thing again, like, because
yeah,
Starbucks
it's a
offers,
destination.
you know, free Wi-Fi now. I think you have to buy something to be able to use their Wi-Fi or something now. I'm not sure, but like, you know, now that they're taking over that sort of thing, or they're wanting to, you know, branch into Starbucks market. You know, that free Wi-Fi. You don't even have to buy something to use our bathroom or, you know, use our free Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It makes it more of a destination.
Although I still feel I have to buy some at Starbucks if I'm using the Wi-Fi, don't you?
I think
No.
aren't you supposed
You just
to?
walk in and sit down?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're bigger though, they're afraid of you.
Yeah.
So,
No one's gonna rough you up.
fireplaces?
Yeah.
I haven't
Some
seen one,
The
but
one on the 16th Street Mall has
Yeah.
like a fireplace.
I mean like a
And
gas
they-
fireplace or a,
Yeah. It's good.
I'll be darned.
They're
Okay.
doing a lot more around.
They
the
really
country.
are
Yeah.
trying to, copy them, that's amazing.
Yeah, it looks almost exactly like a Starbucks. If you didn't see them.
So think about the identity and when it started. And I think a lot of these things, fast, convenient, reliable, clean bathroom. Fun probably wasn't in there, but all of those things still are maintained, within that identity. And I think the key is that now that thing is global. For them to be able to take that mark, we could debate over whether we love that mark or not, but they own it, and it doesn't need a language when you think about it.
It's
So I
American.
don't know if you've probably been to Santa Fe or on the way down that way, but if you get in close to Santa Fe, there's a sign, and it just has the golden arches. It says Santa Fe, and you're like, where is that? Or, really? That kind of thing. And then finally you drive around the corner, because it's not there. And you keep on the same street, not that I was looking for it. It was just sort of like I photographed the sign just because I said, that did it for me. That's all they had to say. There was nothing else you needed, and yet we're in Santa Fe, so it was on a cool, burnt brown thing, type. Actually, was kind of interesting. Anyway, I got it somewhere on my phone, but it's I don't know who did it, but it was a nice idea. And the only reason I bring it up is because that is a huge identity when you can get to that simplicity. I think it compares back to Nike and some of the identities everybody keeps saying. And we were talking to a guy that's doing some renewable energy thing. I have a student that we're trying to work with him on, because they're going to be in the IKEA store, so it's going to be renewable things, and they wanted some kind of promotional thing. What?
I just love IKEA. I'm sorry.
Oh, I do. Yeah. And and you hear you guys have heard. If you haven't heard these comments, you will when you start dealing with clients. But they'll say, I want something like that Nike swoosh. And I'm like, do you know what the Nike swoosh means? Well, no, it's just that that cool swoosh. How did they get that in their head that it's cool and it does all these things? I mean, it's amazing. It's all the other stuff around it, right? Do you guys know what the swoosh is?
It's the
Supposed to be the
cracking
swoosh of
whip.
the cape.
Could be.
I thought it was the
Being
thing
a
on the
Yeah, it's on the heels.
ankle,
The
right?
Nikes from the Greeks.
Yeah, the war gods or whatever
Yeah.
that is. The victory goddesses.
Yeah.
Athena,
It,
something.
yeah, but it's actually the V for victory.
See, I've got like
Of
3
the-
different things now.
Well, no, but it has to do with
Yeah.
the same Greek god.
Yeah,
But
I
when
was
the
inspired
so
by
it was a woman designer. I think she got paid $450.
I thought it was like $25.
No, I mean that's another one of those.
1,000
No, but
something.
Nike came back and made it right.
Oh yeah.
We don't know. We don't know how much it was, but she's
She's
living in
got
the
it all.
Bahamas.
Free shoes for
She
the-
lives in the Bahamas now, and she's got a house in Paris.
Yeah.
She's doing okay. Anyways, a long time ago. But when you think about it, that's how it starts, and then nobody remembers that piece. And the arches, I think, were from the architectural,
Yeah, 'cause
you know, arches
Yeah,
that
there's
they
one
had.
arch on each side of the building, and if you saw it from the right perspective, it made the M.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, does
they still
anybody
have
remember
them in
that?
Jersey. They still exist.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I
Wow.
thought there was one on
There's
the
like
right side.
7 or 8 of them back. Like there's one in Philly and there's a few in New Jersey.
And they build new ones to look like the old ones too. There's one off of Federal in Alameda.
Yeah, yep. That's
It's
one.
brand new, but it looks like one of the old ones.
So do you guys think the system's working?
No, it's horrible.
Yeah, that's a burning ship.
Somebody's
right there.
making money,
It's one of the only companies where their stock value keeps going up
I
during
know.
the recession. So
and it's
Going
pretty.
away.
So it's pretty amazing. Somebody is actually paying attention, and there are a number of designers, believe it or not, that are working on this, and have worked on it, you know, through the years. But back to the university. You know what the university is? It's really it's actually, you know, Burger 101.
Exactly.
oh, is that what it is?
It's to bring up management, so
Yeah.
like it brings education, and then like basically the whole community can move up. They can leave McDonald's at some point, and then they have management experience and things like that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what it's really for.
So who else do you think has been recently, say in the last 5 to 7 years? Actually, it's been 10 years now.
What?
Working with McDonald's.
Who has been working?
Well, one of the largest design companies in the world.
Pentagram. Didn't Polishier do
Pentagram, yeah, yeah, those are small pieces actually. IDEO,
Oh,
Idea.
really?
basically, and McDonald's asked them. So they actually created a whole different element within McDonald's University concept to move into other things like, well, yeah, you can be in management. Do you realize how huge this system is, and we want you to understand that so you can always promote it when you start your own store. You know, they get this huge binder full of stuff when you put a franchise together. Only because a friend of mine is married this was at Sapien, married the receptionist at Sapien. And he owned like 11 McDonald's, and he's in Denver.
That's
He did okay.
a lot of money.
In both cases, he did okay. But anyway, now, so what's happened now is they just got a taste from IDEO. I think it was a short, like 2 or 3 years, and then, but the one of the key designers that was in there left and started. There's an entire other world of McDonald's that's in the desert. So they've rebuilt like 5 full-size McDonald's inside of a box. So when you look at it, you don't know what it is. It could be a storage area. Each one is an actual replica of different ones that are around the country, plus the future ones. And they're now analyzing everything from how that button thing on the receipt looks, what is the printout, you know. Every touch point in there is being redone and redesigned. So the thing that's happening is, I don't think there's any in Denver, but there's a few where you start to drive by and it's like, that's not McDonald's, you know. That has like a cool, somebody put a cool picture up there, you know, in the back of that booth. What happened? Yeah, if I said, what's the artwork look like, what would you say? I don't remember any artwork, actually. Right? Can you? There might be some, but I don't know.
Mayor McCheese.
Yeah. So what they're trying, I think they're trying to get the destination point that you guys were talking about. Let's go there. Like, how many times? Well, I don't know. For you, if you've got, well, how many times is McDonald's on your menu to go out for dinner?
Never.
Not
Rarely plan ahead, unless you have kids who want Happy Meals.
right. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. So I think it's going beyond that. So it's beyond the family, and they're actually trying to move to a whole different menu. You know, I mean, everybody's trying this, but McDonald's seems to do it in sort of increments where they actually do it right. Although the cafe thing is, I don't think they got it yet, but I do know some people that go there and they've tried them and they're getting better. According, I won't even taste it. But.
They own Qdoba, don't they?
Do they?
Does McDonald's own Qdoba?
Wow.
I think they did.
It's where they started Chipotle.
And that's a totally different kind of experience in there. So they've had some they've run some trials there.
Walmart has something to do with Chipotle too.
But the key is, I mean, to be as big as this in a global environment. So say you are in a foreign country and you actually see a McDonald's, you actually might go because you would trust. Trust is the other big thing. Mm-hmm. You trust all of those things from all of the.
But it does taste different in different countries.
Well, I know.
Say it doesn't, but it does.
But you still feel like it's going to be something that might be familiar.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it might have a different sauce or something. You're right. But that's like, you know, amazing. And I think the reality is that here's a system that if one or two little things start to go wrong, a lot of things can start to crumble. And one thing I don't think they do well is the whole sustainable. I don't know about you. I mean, I know I'm putting everything in the trash. I don't think anybody's recycling that. I feel.
Well, it used to be also like styrofoam packaging
Well,
now,
they
and then they
came
made the move to
They came
paper.
back to styrofoam with the sweet tea. Like
But
Yeah,
they-
yeah, yeah.
Did they?
tea now.
I think that's a
Styrofoam cup.
sweet tea thing because like every restaurant I've ever been to that serves sweet tea, it always comes in styrofoam. Like I don't know, but
Styrofoam
like
cup.
little barbecue place down on 5 Points, like yeah, all their other cups, like just the normal like
Wow.
Coke cups, and like they put their sweet tea in styrofoam and lemonade.
Hmm.
Just in case you want
It's a southern thing.
So I
it's
hope
like the extra sugar or something.
I hope you'll see, you know, you can see how all of these things kind of work. And I think you guys did a really nice job on, you know, identifying them. And I don't see too many things you missed. And with the new things coming in, it's pretty amazing.
Is fun a product?
The what?
Is fun a product?
Fun is probably a product,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good point. I think that's a key point. It's not sort of, well, I guess it is relaxation. You know, back to the family thing. You got a family, you're trying to relax. You do have all these sort of activities for the kids and stuff like that, because we definitely used to go there a lot. But the whole Happy Meal thing turns into a nightmare, too. So when it becomes, this is what they want, the issue is, it's more expensive, and then it's a demand, you know. What do you mean there's not a Happy Meal?
Some cities trying to pass legislation to make it illegal to put toys in the
San Fran.
San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah, you can't put a toy in there unless it has fruits and vegetables and only a certain amount of fat content.
That's awesome.
Wow. That's cool. So maybe they're getting hit with some of the bigger issues. I do know that they tried, they did try to, at one point in time, take all the trash and make recycled paper to print their annual reports on. But it turns out it cost them 5 times more than, 10 times more than, actually, you know, just to
This one still smells like French fries.
do it cheap or something. But now with annual reports online. But what do you think the online presence is for them?
Next to none.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is really interesting.
You're not on the McDonald's Facebook site?
No. Sorry.
You're not a fan?
No, not yet.
You don't like
I will
Not a
be
fan, well, you're
after this.
missing the boat there. Okay. Anything else that you guys,
The only
You
thing I
guys think-
thought of was when you guys brought up like how everything's packaged in the bag. You ever notice like on to go, the fries are always on top now, so you can have it passenger side and perfectly. They figured that out, I think, somewhere along in my childhood, that everyone wants the fries on top, and so that way when you're to go.
I
Or
didn't realize
or
that.
even when you get like a really big soda, it's got a small bottom, so it'll
So it
fit in your
fits in the
cup
cup
holder,
holder.
right?
Wow.
Somebody thought about it.
Unless you drive a German car.
They
Don't
do
even
they
put
do
cup
it
holders
for you.
in- They don't put cup holders in their cars.
And the other thing is disability.
Oh yeah, because they'll hire.
How many disabled people have you seen?
I've seen a lot.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So that's a great public.
But nobody's
image
rolling
piece.
up in a wheelchair
I don't mean
in the
disabled,
counter.
not disabled like
Yeah.
that, like mentally.
Oh, mentally, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Someone with them.
okay.
Walmart actually hires more.
No, I would think
physically.
yeah, they've got a bigger
Greeters.
Okay. All right, good.
Great.
Good job.
Thank you. Oh.